Welcome to the post-apocalyptic world of Wolf's Reign. In a dying land, an ancient legend promises salvation in a hidden paradise. But only wolves, thought to be extinct, can find it. Join Kiba and his pack as they follow the scent of lunar flowers through desolate cities, pursued by those with darker intentions. Will they reach their mythical paradise before it's too late? Make sure to subscribe and like for more. Lord Orcam is killed by Lady Jaguara's black-armored soldiers, along with his royal guard and assistants. Hub discovers that Chiza has been taken and that Shur joined the search party. Later, he is arrested under a warrant previously issued by Orcam. Despite being beaten during interrogation, Hub cleverly extracts information about Shur's whereabouts and escapes when the city is attacked by Jaguara's troops and heads to the aerial city. Meanwhile, Orcam's soldiers learn of his assassination and return to defend the city. Darcia reveals to Shur more about Paradise and Lady Hamona's illness before using his eye to put her to sleep. He then leaves her connected to a machine as he sets out to retrieve Chiza. That night, Chiza and the wolves, excited by the full moon, dance around a fountain before howling. As they do, a field of lunar flowers appears, forming a path to Paradise. They run down the path, but Darcia arrives, causing the flowers to vanish. He attacks the wolves with a laser from his airship, wounding all but Kiba, who refuses to give up, continuing to defend Chiza until she tells him to rest and sings him to sleep. Someone protect Best Girl or the Waifu Wars are going to begin. To protect the wolves, Chiza leaves with Darcia. Jaguara's troops launch an attack on Darcia's keep. During the chaos, Shur manages to escape, but Darcia returns only to find Hamona dead. Chiza begins to sing and touches Hamona to try and heal her, but Darcia, overcome with grief, yells at her to stop and violently throws her aside. He then cries out in pain, banging his head against the wall. Meanwhile, in the city, the wolves encounter Blue and rescue her from men who want to force her into becoming a prostitute. Hyde wants Blue to join them, but Soom and Tobo don't agree because she previously hunted them alongside Quent. Despite their objections, Hyde follows Blue when she leaves. Blue reveals to Hyde that Quent believes wolves killed his family during the fire in their town, though she isn't sure if wolves were truly responsible. Now that Blue knows she is half wolf, she feels she can't stay with Quent, as she couldn't bring herself to hunt other wolves. While they're talking, Tobo finds them, and the three rush back upon hearing gunfire from Kiba and Soom's direction. The two are being chased by the men who tried to capture Blue, intending to sell them to Jaguara. While fleeing, the wolves run into an elderly couple who help them escape and offer them food, because retirement means embracing the weird side of life. Meanwhile, Hub arrives at the aerial city searching for Cher and visits the bar where she was last seen and finds Quent there. Quent admits he suspected Blue was part wolf, which explained her tracking ability. After drinking together, Quent suggests searching the next town, remarking that Cher would have already been found if she were still there. Hub and Quent purchase an old car to reach the next city, taking turns driving while the other drinks or sleeps. What could possibly go wrong in a situation like this? Initially hesitant, Blue decides to join the wolves as they journey to Darcia's keep to rescue Chiza. One snowy night, Quent believes he sees Blue in the car's headlights. He stops and calls out, but she doesn't answer. As they continue, Hub thinks about his and Cher's wedding day, remembering their life before their divorce and how Cher's research on Chiza led to their marriage's downfall. Upon arriving in the city, Hub and Quent split up. Hub searches for Cher, but no one has seen her. Meanwhile, Quent meets an old couple and helps them free their RV from the sand. While sharing a drink, they mention encountering wolves. When the old man describes a black wolf, Quent realizes he's talking about Blue. At sunset, Hub joyfully meets up with Cher at a fountain. She tells him she plans to go to Darcia's keep to find Chiza and urges him to return without her. However, Hub refuses to be left behind again, so Cher agrees to stay with him, and they return to the car where Quent is waiting. While traveling through a blizzard, Blue and Tobo struggle to keep up with the others. Hyde and Soom manage to convince Kiba to stop and wait out the storm in a nearby shelter. The group wants to rest until morning, but Kiba refuses to stay and decides to continue alone. As Cher and Hub drive through the blizzard, Cher explains how Chiza was created, her purpose, and how Lord Orcam acquired her. Guests were casually dropping lore bombs about someone being created. No big deal. At Darsha's keep, Chiza remains on the floor where Darsha had thrown her, while he continues mourning Hamuma's death. Chiza wakes up when Kiba enters the keep. The rest of the pack arrives shortly after Kiba and finds that Cher and the others are also there. Kiba reaches the room where Chiza is while Hige leads the others by following Chiza's scent, and Hub's allergies help the humans determine the correct direction. When Chiza tries to go to Kiba, Darshia violently throws her aside again. Kiba and Darshia briefly fight, with Darshia asking Kiba what he hopes to find in paradise. Kiba says he's looking for a future. Quint arrives and attempts to shoot Kiba, but Blue jumps in front of the gun, saving him. Suddenly, dozens of Jaguar's airships arrive, bombarding the keep with laser fire. Cher and Hub manage to get Chiza out, but are captured by black armored troops outside along with Blue, who try to help them. The other wolves escape, but Kiba runs back to rescue Chiza, chasing the airships. As the keep is destroyed in a final burst of light, Darshia stands on its edge, holding Lady Hamona in his arms and smiling as everything around him is obliterated, leaving only a mound behind. The other wolves find no trace of Kiba. Sue remarks that he can't remember anymore how long it's been since he found his way here, or even why he came here. One day they find an injured wolf lying under a tree, so Psoom tells the others to take it out of where it's hiding. However, the wolf violently attacks the man's neck, so Psoom smirks and makes it follow him somewhere else. When they reach a deserted-looking bridge, Psoom tells the wolf to not act so aggressively towards everyone because there are rules in this city unlike the mountain he might have come from. Gel arrives to help him and smacks the wolf away. However, Psoom angrily tells him to not butt into his business and declares that they are not friends. Later, while they're on a mission, Gel trips on a large pipe due to gunfire and is hanging on for dear life. He desperately calls for help. Sue hurries towards him and tries to pull him up, but Gel gets bitten by Tsoom's wolf teeth and falls to his death. Later, the other comrades decide to not go with him anymore, remarking that they're apparently slowing him down. Once, a man is about to kill Tobo, but Sue rushes in and saves her, after which she thanks him for saving her life and introduces herself. Later, they have an argument and Tobo angrily asks why he can't just be honest with himself. He acts as if he doesn't care about anything, so Tobo angrily asks why he saved her then, since he could have just left her to die in that alley. He annoyingly insists that she doesn't know anything, so she sadly leaves. Talk about savage, my guide Soom needs to stop roasting everyone. Later, Soom gets ratted out by one of his fellow comrades and hurriedly manages to escape, but he gets injured on the shoulder. Later, Soom, Hige, and Kiba approached Soom and ask him to leave the city with them since they intend to head to paradise. He annoyingly asks if they think he's going to believe them, so Tobo remarks that they will spend their whole lives sneaking around and hiding if they stay here. Hive warns them to do whatever they want to quickly because he can sense a nasty scent and they've been surrounded. Hava tells Soom to decide, so he agrees to go with them. While they're escaping, Topo trips and is about to fall down, but this time, Soom manages to save her. They successfully escape. However, he insists that he doesn't care about paradise and just wants to leave this dumpster of a city. Alone in a forest, Tobo remarks that she never expected that she would come so far alone and never thought she would head out on a journey, but she doesn't know what else to do. One day, Tobo encountered a girl who gave her a sausage but sadly said she can't take her in. At that moment, Tobo thought she was really nice and approached her in her human form. She thanks the girl for the sausage she gave to her dog, saying she heard from the lady at the store. The girl introduces herself as Lyra, and one day, Tobo accidentally kills Lyra's bird, shocking her. One way to kill the mood of the bird. Devastated by what she's done, Tobo slowly collapses in front of Lyra and starts crying. Watching from afar, Soom hurriedly rushes in and takes Tobo away. One day, Tobo meets up with Lyra and tries to assure her that she doesn't have any ill intentions and just wanted to apologize for what happened to her bird. However, Lyra starts screaming for her dad. Tobo turns into her human form and asks why she's doing this. Lyra hurriedly says it's because she isn't normal and no one could ever trust her. Tobo tries to comfort her, but she gets away from her, so Tobo leaves with Hyge and Kiba. As their journey towards paradise begins, Tobo tells the others that she had a dream where they had reached paradise. Red and blue flowers were blooming as far as the eye could see, and they were all lunar flowers. As they continue their journey, Kiba suddenly smells lunar flowers, and they arrive at a ravaged-looking town where a few packs of wolves and dogs are living. Later in the night, Kiba is wandering around when some of them ask if he's given up on his dream of heading to paradise. He answers that the reason they weren't able to find it is because they're all dogs. Pissed, the guys start fighting him and he gets injured. Later, the former head of the pack, Zali, shows them the way to paradise, but warns them that no one has ever managed to reach it. Undeterred, they continue forward, and presently, Kiba suddenly notices the airships and senses someone familiar. He hurriedly rushes forward and arrives at the pond where a girl slowly drifts down. Stunned, Kiba slowly approaches her and recognizes her as Chiza before she smiles and embraces him, and the others realize she's the Flower Maiden. Hyge is wandering around in the city and remarks that the only reason he stayed here is because he caught wind of something, a scent he had never smelled before, the scent of lunar flowers. One day he felt something calling out to him and found a severely injured wolf lying in a cage. He asks the wolf why he doesn't stay in his human form, since they can blend in and live alongside the humans if they do that. The wolf angrily asks if he's given up his pride as well, so Hyge cheerily says he'll get caught someday again if he keeps looking at people like that. This Chad followed his nose and found more drama than a soap opera. He helps the wolf, Kiba, break out of the cage. One day they ran into a weird-looking man carrying Chiza, who suddenly disappeared before Kiba could stop him. A while later, they met Chiza again on their journey, and after that, she walked hand in hand with Kiba. When they reached her home, Chiza happily ran to greet everyone, but realized everyone had withered and died. They only found an old lad who said they are called the Hanabido and told Chiza that she was a perfect being. She told Chiza that the wolf seeks out the flower, and the flower seeks out the wolf, but she must not go with Kiba and the others as it will lead to destruction. However, Kiba and the others comfortingly assured her that she can stay with them. As their journey continued, they had a lot of fun together, and they were all very happy with Chiza, especially during the day of the full moon when she grew a long path of lunar flowers and showed them the road to paradise, shocking them. They happily started running along the path to try and reach paradise. However, the noble from before suddenly appears in front of them and tells Chiza to come with him. Talk about a huge turnoff. Refusing to let her be captured, the wolves hurriedly started attacking him, but he fatally wounds all of them, especially Kiba, who gets brutally injured. He wearily tries to stop Chiza from leaving, but she comforts him, pats the other wolves, and leaves to save their lives. Later, the wolves are frustratingly wondering what they're going to do now before Blue appears and joins up with them. Hub Lebowski takes a man, Quent, in for questioning and asks what he's doing here. Quent angrily declared that they have to kill all the wolves. Later, Hub takes a woman to see an injured Kiba, but they later see that he somehow escaped. Later, Hub was told that there are a lot more wolves around and tells him to suspect humans instead of wolves here. While Hub's ex-wife was in the research lab with Chiza, who is unconscious in a tank filled with fluid, the noble suddenly approaches her from behind. He slowly gets near Aor and tells her to raise a while before taking his mask off and revealing his other eye, instantly making her collapse limply. Guess he must have one hell of an eye then. Later, Hub's wife, Cher, left him, and he found the Book of the Full Moon in her belongings, which talked about an unparalleled alchemist. Questioning what she was doing with a book that has now been banned. Later, Cher is on the noble's ship and is working for him, but Chiza manages to escape and falls down into a forest where she met up with Kiba and his pack. Hub goes to find Cher in a bar and meets Quent from before, who had a drink with Cher when she visited the bar. Hub tries to find Cher and loses all hope. He wearily sits down and is remembering her from when they were happily wedded. Suddenly, Cher arrives in front of him and they happily embrace. Later, she reveals that she met Lord Darcia, the noble, but said she has to go to find Chesa. Meanwhile, Gila is fighting Darcia before Quent, who attacked him before, arrives. He tries to shoot him down, but Blue suddenly stands in front of him and the bullet, shocking Quent. He disbelievingly questions why she's doing this. Cher and Hub hurriedly try to escape with Chesa, but get stopped by Darcia's guards as Darcia holds Lady Hamoma in his arms and remembers what she said to him before causing a huge burst of light. This guy has some serious priority issues. Haj Sum and Tobo consider abandoning the search for Kiba and Paradise when Tobo discovers Quent Yaden lying half-frozen in the snow. While Haj and Sum continue searching for Kiba, Tobo stays behind, lying beside Quent to warm him. In his sleep, Quent imagines he is holding Blue. After leaving Quent, Tobo is attacked by Ayak, a member of the Hmong tribe. Hearing Tobo's howl, Haj and Sum rush back to help, and once Ayak realizes they are wolves, he apologizes and leads them to his village. The Hmong tribe considers wolves their friends and are on edge because Lady Jaguar's troops have been attacking their dogs. The next morning, they decide to search for Kiba at the desert's bones, a place rumored to bring eternal happiness where people never return. As they prepare to leave, Tobo says he wants to stay in the village with Ayak and his people. Meanwhile, Kiba finds himself in a lush area filled with vibrant green grass, water, and different animals. There he meets Mew, a female cat, who tells him they are in a place where everyone can be free, regardless of species. Kiba believes he has found paradise. Feeling peaceful and seeing everyone living harmoniously, having a protagonist actually reach his goal is kinda unique. Mew invites him to stay with her forever. Tobo explains that living with Ayak and his people feels like paradise to him. Although reluctant, Sum and Haj accept his decision and continue searching for Kiba. Kiba tells Mew that he hears people calling him but cannot remember who they are. Mew reassures him, saying that he will eventually get used to forgetting. Haj and Sum discover the plant in the desert that Ayak mentioned just as Lady Jaguar's troops arrive and find Kiba. Haj and Sum attack the soldiers, soon joined by Ayak and Tobo. Unaware of the plant's dangerous properties, the troops fight near it and become paralyzed. The wolves and Ayak carry Kiba's body to the village elder, who begins a ceremony to call Kiba's spirit back. As the ceremony starts, a fierce wind blows over Kiba and Mew. Mew tells Kiba that someone is calling him back and that he should go, as this is not the true paradise. Kiba hears Chesa calling him, urging him to remember. When he calls out her name, the false paradise vanishes and he returns. In the back of a transport truck with Blue, Chesa starts crying. After naturally resting and regaining his strength, Kiba speaks to his pack. As they prepare to leave, Tobo decides not to whine or run away anymore. You go, Queen. Before leaving, Tobo asks Ayak to find and help Quent. Thanks for joining us on today's journey. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and hit the bell to stay updated. Until next time, stay curious.